claims. They say adjusters will be needed, as many as possible. Okay, so the range there, let's say it's about 35,000 they're predicting for flood claims for that company. And they're saying in Katrina they did 56,000, Ike they did 40,000, Irene they did 32,000, Sandy they did 46,000. So they're saying 3/4 of Sandy. Sandy's more recent knowledge. And Harvey they did 41,000, and again they're projecting this one to be 36,000. They go on to say, I'll repeat this because it's good advice. They say this is a great opportunity to help many families and businesses. Remember, there is a tragic loss of human life and many homes destroyed. Show respect, be professional, and report timely. And then patience. This storm is not half over yet. I just got I'm reading a bit more. Just a corollary to that one is that the good news is this is a storm where we can expect, again, 35,000 losses or more. The bad news is the losses cannot be reported when the insureds are in flooded attics and the agencies, the insurance agencies, are closed because of loss of power and they are flooded too. What? Who can't hear anything? Okay, it's not because of a lack of our microphones. It's something with the internet. All right, so what we want to talk about today is just, we do have one commitment for 30 adjusters. We're not even sure when to start that group out. We've got one commitment for 30 adjusters, and we've got another 100 plus that could happen anytime. The first 30 adjusters we'll be sending out are by request and by performance, experienced people, and we have not been told when they should start. We've all been watching the news and the weather, and it's very, very unknown what it's like out there when claims will start coming in. We do have an opportunity to go to a location in the Midwest. We're already in the Midwest, but further east of the Midwest, between Lexington and Indianapolis, and hold more training there. In fact, complete training, get all our documents that we need to get signed, get your Xactimate turned on, get your SimSol turned on through the two people who do SimSol. So we have that option, or the other option is to stay here and stay wherever we are and just wait. So I want to do a little bit of just which would people prefer. Some of the advantages to going ahead and going out is that we're closer to the storm. That's one thing. And then when we do get to go ahead and we do start to get claims, instead of a 2.5-day drive or a long 2-day drive or a 1-day drive or 1.25-day drive. Another advantage is it's really good marketing for us at this time to be able to tell our clients that people have, that we have our group together, we're assembled and ready to go. The disadvantage is that you're starting to expenses. We can go to a location. We can get a lot of good work done in terms of being prepared and getting ready, getting refreshed on your Xactimate. But again, you start to incur hotel bills, Airbnb, and that sort of thing. And it's possible you might end up driving back to that work. Some small portion or even a large portion of this. So that's the nature of this business. It's very unpredictable. It's not. If you've been talking to friends, reading on the internet, there have been a lot of people who've already had canceled deployments. A week ago, and Florence was forecast to make landfall just straight into North Carolina as a Category 3, almost a Category 4, and then go straight through North Carolina up through Raleigh as a big windstorm. People were very confidently telling us to get ready to go to work, and they were. I know one company's been sending people to Atlanta for several days now just to get ready. Like the volume just went up here. Okay. But I know other companies that have told people to be on standby and then called them and say, well, wait a minute, don't be on standby. So there's a gamble there. It's sometimes it's good to get out of our, shake the cobwebs off, go out there as if we're going to work, and then sometimes that makes it go to work because we're in the location, and again, we're that much more ready. Because when you're sitting here in your regular routine, it's really hard to turn on the Xactimate, it's hard to open your book, it's hard to do all those things. We're thinking about, if we do that any training we do would be totally free. It's just all storm preparation. Your only cost will be your housing, and whatever it took to put yourself out there for maybe 3 or 4 days. So those are some of the thoughts. And by the way, those of you that have been wanting to train as an adjuster and haven't done the first leg of it yet, I want to hold those kind of questions until the very end after we've signed off, and then we'll have a private meeting with those. I see about 6 people in the room here that have talked to me that either they haven't adjusted for 10 years or they've never adjusted and they just want to know real basic things. Let's hold those kind of questions, but I can take a few of the other kind. All right. Colin, you have
This is an interesting storm because the damage is occurring so slowly. No one knows how many claims are coming in, so no one's willing to assign work yet. The question we have to look at, like Dan said, is do we make ourselves ready so that as soon as someone calls, we say, yes, we're ready, we'll go to work now? Or do we hang back and play it safe and not take on those expenses? So that's what we want to hear from you guys.
one more thing. And along with that, the same client is very experienced that sent out some emails this morning. Said in all his years in the business, he's never seen a storm roll out as slow as this. Sometimes like an Irma, like last year, Irma came in, a big windstorm in Florida, and it hit into Fort Myers as a Category 3 and raked up through Florida, and the next day it was gone. You could see how many houses were damaged. Insurance companies were able to predict, and people started calling for adjusters. They knew how many to ask for. Right now, no one knows how many adjusters to ask for. Question again. Yeah, so that's the option, is to, I think we should train while we've got downtime. There's something about the storm being there that, just gets you ready, gets your adrenaline flowing. You're ready to put your attention on this. Whatever level of training you're at, whether it's just a refreshment or you're starting from the beginning. And what Ian is saying is, why don't we just do it here in Fairfield? and not incur those expenses? And that's a legit question. Buzz.
How much does it help you to have a hard count of people that can be on the road within 12 hours? Because I realize you have to make commitments to the companies you're working for.
It means a lot to us and to our customers to have a reliable, ready-to-go group. Just putting together 30 people over the last 2-3 days, it's like, what are they called? Cornering cats or something like that. Because herding cats, okay. Herding sheep. It would be very powerful if we were actually in one location and there were 50 people and we got all your documents ready at one time. There wasn't a lot of emails and phone calls going back and forth. So that's the reason, Ian, to possibly go. Plus, if you're here with your old job or whatever your work is, your family, yada yada, and that's all good stuff. But if you're out somewhere, we're going to train 12 hours a day. We'll take breaks, but we're going to get our training. We're going to get it done. It's going to be our only focus, and then we're going to be ready to go. So we'll continue to talk about that exact thing.
Am I right in my thinking that if we're also out in this location, we'll be near the headquarters of this company, so they're going to see us training, they're going to like us, they're going to know our face, and they're going to think of us first.
That is a big one. John?
What about the possibility of doing salt here? So that we're going to the Midwest, and that's what I'm saying here, and summer training for people that can't afford to go.
We could do both. We could take both approaches, yes. I don't know.
Those who really want to go, I can't believe it won't. I would say, have a buddy flying that you share his expenses. If they do this, then you must get flying. So if I could do a backup person to Jeremy, he can go. And he could go out front and have to be expensive, because at least up front, taking up the van and having one flying. And then people that really want to go.
I know y'all can't hear this, but I'm going to repeat it. So this last suggestion is, again, let's compromise. Let's do a little of both. If you're working as a partnership, why don't one of the partnership go and the other one wrap up loose ends and you share expenses somehow? Yeah, lots of ways to skin it. But I know a lot of people are anxious. A lot of people are wanting to go and get out there. I'm kind of like that too. I'm personally willing to go out, incur some expenses, and be ready to go. It just feels better. We'll do a show of hands in just a second. Yeah, Mark, how you doing? Mark, another Mark. No, we're thinking about rolling out on Monday and being at this location on Tuesday morning. Again, that's another same question repeated. Dale?
What percentage of these planes look like they're going to be flood? And is there some extra level of training or certification necessary to do flood planes?
Okay. This does look like, at this time, primarily a flood storm. It's so hard to tell from the Weather Channel. I've worked storms in North Carolina, wind storms. Trees in North and South Carolina are everywhere. And that's what they're showing on the TV is all the trees that are hitting all the houses. And I think there is going to be a couple wet ground with even moderately high wind. You got a lot of trees down. As you know, it doesn't count in the insurance world unless that tree hits a fence or a house. If it just lands in the ground, it does not generate a claim. But we've got enough trees and enough houses in the Carolinas. There'll be a lot of wind, but it's going to be primarily a flood storm. And that said, people have to have bought flood policies. It's not enough just to have a big flood. If it's flooding in places where it's never flooded before, people aren't going to have insurance policies. And we can't help them if they don't. So we don't know, Dale, but it's primarily, we think, going to be a flood storm. And the training for that training is left. if you don't have a flood certification and you want to work this storm, you probably have to connect with somebody that did and somehow partner up. Other questions?
So like what you just said, this group you're wanting to go to, are you looking for people?
We're looking for flood people right now. Yes, for the early deployment, yes. So, to work flood, you have to either have an FCN number or a mentee card. In other words, you attended a 2018 flood training session. I really applaud all those that went down to Lexington on last Wednesday. I know that was a hard drive. A lot of people just did it one day all the way there and back. That's what you got to do sometimes, and I think the training was very good, and I hope we get to put it to use, but we don't know. Who else? Any other questions before we take a couple of votes? No.
We have a team of people that share
For flood, like when claims are assigned to one person, whoever has the right credentials. How you decide to work that in your own team, whether you have an estimator or you're by yourself or 3 people, that's up to you. But the claims can only be assigned to the person that has the flood card. Joe. Question is, can a person without a flood card do the scope? Not completely. The person with the flood card has to make the primary contacts and so forth. Any other questions? Do you have to have your Florida license? You have to have a flood license. The flood license is national, and you do not need a state license, although it's good if you do. Anybody else? Okay, so. Question is, if you have an FCN number, but you haven't actually done flood claims, hopefully you're an experienced adjuster though, it's just a transition period, and that's the sort of thing that with 2 or 3 days training before you get your claims can make a huge difference in your efficiency and the quality of the claim you put out, and that's why we want to do this. This is really a unique opportunity. Usually we are so much in a hurry to start working claims that we don't have any time for last minute training. This is an interesting opportunity. I think we have time for last minute training.
Yeah, so when you say a flood card, you're not talking about the NFIP mentor card, right?
When I say flood certification, I'm talking about an FCN number, which is a full flood license, or a mentee card.
Oh, okay.
Either one. Heather.
If you have a mentee card, can you get claims in your name, or does your mentee?
If you have a mentee
mentor
card,
have
you definitely get claims in your name. However, of course, all your claims have to be submitted in conjunction with your mentor. What we've done in the past is all the claims that come through our company, no matter who we're working for, if you're a mentee, it comes through as me being your mentor. Anything else? Chris? What are the odds of them offering another emergency training flood class? Well, they just had one last Wednesday, the 12th. Will they have another? It depends on if there's a shortage of adjusters. If there's a shortage of adjusters, they'll have one. And let's say you're out working in the field. You're working as a team. One of you's got a flood certification, one doesn't. They hold an emergency class. The one that doesn't picks up their license. It's usually it's a very short class in the field. It's less than a day, sometimes less than half a day. Anyway, so the second person gets their license too. Now you can take more claims. Yes. Those of you that just went to Lexington for your flood certification, you'll be receiving, Joy will be getting a copy of all your mentee cards and she'll distribute them to you. They'll come by PDF. I don't know how long it'll take. Anything else? So, yes, sir. The question is about wind claims, two-story ladders and stuff like that. Right now, we're not sure what our deployment opportunities are for wind. All the attention we're getting is on flood. So let's hold off wind questions for right now. So we'll conclude this pretty quickly. Yeah.
I'm sorry, just one more question. There are some people who may not be aware that you have to have an Apple product in order to get the
Okay, so there is one of our clients that has one of their clients that requires a specific software that has to be run on an Apple product. Let's work on that detail when we're actually out training. We don't need to have it right this moment. Okay? Thank you. And by the way, for those of you that have trained this year and worked in different software, all of our clients, the absolute main demand that we're getting is for this storm. We're not into Florida. This is everything but Florida. Is for Xactimate. There's a few of you that, and so all of you that have done Xactimate training or have thought about which software you're going to activate, the preponderance of our work will be in Xactimate. We have been told for a few adjusters that use SimSol that there will be work for them. But if you are needing to brush up on your Xactimate, this is the time to do it. So,
Forgive me if you already covered this. The estimating for floodplains, there's a whole different kind of series of forms that have to be filled out.
right, the estimating for flood claims is different than estimating for wind claims. A lot of you are good and experienced wind adjusters, but you haven't done much flood or you haven't done any flood. Again, that's what the short period we have before getting claims will allow you to do. It's not a difficult transition. You already know pretty much everything needs to be done except for a little bit of flood policy and how Xactimate all the forms and everything that are generated that are different. But that's something we can cover in 2 days prior to the storm, and you can hit the ground and be very competent and efficient.
And you were saying that you would maybe have some of that training here.
And we're going to have some of that training either here or in the further east or both. But I think we would be negligent if we didn't take this time before receiving claims to not train. Dion.
I'll be stretching.
Stretching, okay, Dion, stretching. All right, so how many people, this is experienced adjusters and those with FCN cards. Jeff has a burning question.
For the training coming up here, like for the executives exactly up and running, that you might approach with that.
I would say the demo would be fine. So the question was, if you need to have Xactimate up and running and active in order to do the training. And if your Xactimate is not active, you can use a demo for the training, and I would activate it once you get a firm commitment of claims.
That's one way to do it. The other way to do it is just assume you're going to go to work, assume that you want to go to work, go ahead and get your Xactimate turned on before 10,000 people are calling Xactimate at the same time. go ahead and get your Xactimate turned on, get your ExactNet address. You're going to need an ExactNet address so you can receive claims through Exact Analysis. If you've been working off the demo, if you're taking training with the demo, it just depends on your level of risk and maybe your pocketbook a little bit. But if you can, go ahead and turn on your Xactimate. This is a storm. This is going to happen. You just can't guarantee you're going to get claims. Right? All right, so for those of you that are experienced adjusters, have an FCN card, have a Mint card, if you've been to the training, let's assume you've got one. We're not going to worry about what day it arrives. You've done the duty. How many people would like to go out on an early training deployment? All right. Not only like to, but you can do it. Okay. All right. So that's a good number of people, 20 to 30 people just in this room. How many people would be able to clear their schedule as if they were out there and do training here in Fairfield? Okay, we got another 20. Wait, did you raise your hands twice? No, just raise your hands once. That's fine. Okay. And of course, the training here would have to be maybe a little more. We might have to stratify between people that are training for the first time and people that are just crossing over from wind to flood. There'd be two different types of training. All right, so that's options. We can do it either way. Yes, Miss Heather.
What sort of exotic destination would be training in?
It would be in the Midwest, somewhere between Lexington, Kentucky, and Indianapolis, Indiana. That's our first choice. Lonnie Gamble is already out there. He's camping out in Tennessee. Hope he's not getting rained on yet. Yeah. Well, we want to decide if we're going to do it, and we'll make that decision. I'm leaning towards that we do it. That we offer both training. We've got a lot of good trainers in our group, and we will primarily be training, refreshing in Xactimate, and training on flood, or refreshing on flood, refreshing on flood. Okay. Thank you all for coming. I hope this has been helpful. If you want to ask more questions, why don't you take some seats down here and we'll talk after this meeting's over. Thank you all for coming. And if you have not yet registered, if you're not getting our emails, see Sean. She's got her, higher. Okay, she's got her hand up there. See Sean if you're having trouble with electronics. Thank you very much.